Welcome, foolish mortals. I am your host, 1000th Ghost, and today I wanted to do a quick roundup on episodes 14 of The Mandalorian. I know I'm a little behind. I was out of town and I just didn't get around to it when I first got back. So let's go over episode 14. Mando and the baby, who we now know is called Grogu, decide to do exactly what Ahsoka told them to do and fly to the ancient Jedi temple and see if Grogu can make contact with another Jedi of some kind. So they arrive on the planet. Surprisingly, they land exactly where they need to be. On the entire planet, they find exactly the right spot. Star Wars does this all the time where everybody flies exactly where they need to be, even though they have never been to the planet before. They trudge up the hill, and Grogu is placed upon the Temple Mount and begins communicating to someone. There's all this blue light and stuff. And then we are shown Boba Fett showing up with Fennec Shand. I can never remember that person's name. And get into a fight with him. The Mandalorian thinks that Boba Fett is there to get the child. What Boba Fett really wants is his armor back, which Mandalorian got from the Marshal at the beginning of the first episode of this season. So they have a small, prolonged battle, and Boba Fett says, "If you give me your armor, I promise that I will not hurt you or the child." And about that time, the remnant, which is what they call the Empire at the moment, shows up, and they all start to battle stormtroopers coming out of nowhere. And we finally get to see what we've wanted to see for almost 40 years now, which is Boba Fett being a complete badass. Now, if you haven't seen the Clone Wars series, we got to see him as a teenager, and he could hold his own pretty well. In fact, he was co-leader of a small group of bounty hunters that included Bosk at one point. So we know that he's been a fighter, and we know from the original trilogy, that he's known to be a fighter. But back in 1980, when the movies came out with Boba Fett in them, the technology just wasn't there. You didn't have the fight choreography that you have now. You didn't have the costume ability. That's why the Vader and Obi-Wan fight is so sad in A New Hope compared to what they were a few years earlier when they were together in Revenge of the Sith. And I'm sure what we'll see in the Obi-Wan series. But while Boba Fett and see, I've already done it again, Fennec, go off to fight the Stormtroopers, the Mandalorian goes to try and get Grogu off the top of the mountain, but he can't get past the force shield that is around him. And in fact, it knocks him down and knocks him out for a few minutes of the fight. He gets back up, goes down the hill, and joins Fennec, and they begin trying to take out the Stormtroopers. However, they are vastly outnumbered until Boba Fett drops down with his armor back on and just destroys everybody in sight. The Stormtroopers run back to their ships and take off, but Boba Fett shoots them down with the missile on his back. But what nobody has seen in the meantime is that the Dark Troopers have been released by Moff Gideon and have actually captured Grogu after his message with the Force. He's been left very tired, and they basically are able to just pick him up and walk away, which is really sad because the Dark Troopers are known to be complete badasses, and they didn't do anything. They flew down, they stood around in a circle, kind of like the Knights of Ren, who we were promised was going to do something and then did absolutely nothing. They just walk over, pick up the kid, and fly back. Boba Fett chases them back up to the ship to see where they're going, and that's about the end of the episode. The Mandalorian decides that he's going to try and track him down, and Boba Fett and Fennec say they're going to help. They all leave on Slave One because, big spoiler point, they blew up the Razor Crest. Yes, all of you who spent $300 or more on that Hasbro Pulse uh, Razor Crest, I hope you got your money's worth because they blew that ship up. Here we thought it was going to be the new Millennium Falcon, the new Slave One even, an iconic ship that would forever be, but it's gone, blown up into many pieces. And the only things left that the Mandalorian took were the little ball that the child likes and the staff that he got in the last episode. So they have all decided to go on a hunt for the child, and they think they know where they need to go, but they need help. So they go back to Cara Dune and tell her that they need to talk to Bill Burr's character, but he's now a prisoner, which is where we left him last season. So they're trying to formulate a way to either break him out of prison or get him out of prison, and that's how that episode ends. There's another short episode. A lot of these episodes are only 35 minutes long, which, okay, if you're going to have, I don't need a lot of extra story to make it an hour episode. But then you didn't need to have 8 episodes. You could have cut all this up and actually made them, 5 or 6 episodes instead of 8. I get why they did it. They draw us in, and those people who only sign up for The Mandalorian and then sign off, they get 2 months worth of money out of people instead of, just the usual. Anyway, so that's the end of that episode. I'll be back in a minute with episode 15, which is The Believer. Talk to y'all later. Thanks. Bye.